We got problems in college football. Bo Perbula did not want to leave our program.
Hey, we about this, son. Next man up. In a previous video, we talked briefly about a Penn State quarterback that transferred out during the bowl season as Penn State gets ready for their playoff matchup. But I think the most impactful thing about that is not just that he was a backup, not just that he had a big-time performance in Wisconsin to help them get a win, but the fact that it seems that the head coach and every single one of their teammates and anyone who's talked out in that Penn State organization only has positive things to say about him. So we're kind of going to go deeper into it and talk about the sadness of the transfer portal. I think sometimes we sit here and either get mad at the NCAA, which it is the NCAA's fault, and we should keep as much anger as we can with them. But I think sometimes it gets off on the kids, and it's like this whole situation where, they're money hungry, they're chasing this. When at the end of the day, these are young men who are trying to make the best out of their athletic careers, which are extremely short, even for the highest tier of athletes. So the NCAA has set up a terrible gambit to put a lot of people in the bad spot. So first, before we get into James Franklin's press conference and him addressing this, we're gonna take it back a little bit. I want to see what James Franklin predicted about college quarterbacks, using the transfer portal and the issues that it would come with it. But man, I appreciate y'all watching these videos. If you like it, leave a like. If you don't, dislike it. Subscribe if you enjoy college football content. Let's hop right into it.
How, if at all, has the transfer portal impacted the way you go about recruiting quarterbacks? Are the numbers different? Do you need to get a different number of players each year, given that there's been so much movement with that particular position?
Yeah, that position in general, I think, is problematic across the country. I think whenever you're in a situation where only one guy gets on the field, I still think there's a lot of value in having some patience and developing at that position, but that's not really a word in college football right now. So I think our approach is still similar, but obviously your antenna is up, and it's something that you're going to have to be kind of monitoring your current roster as well as guys that are out there, almost like a pro player department in some ways.
With the portal and the realities, is there more pressure and more challenges to make sure guys are getting their opportunities and stay happy and get the playing time so that they don't leave?
No, but you better monitor your roster. You better be monitoring your roster. And I think the old days of, kind of a freshman coming in and kind of having to pay his dues and those things are different. You better be monitoring your roster. You better be aware of your roster. You better be talking to the parents. You better be talking to the high school coaches, all those things. That's where consistency on your staff is important, because those relationships are already built. But it's definitely something that you better be aware of.
So there you go. He not only admits it, but I think kind of predicts some of the predicaments that they're in currently. And of course, we are also going to hear from his teammates, like I said, Drew Aller, kind of speak on him. But just reading a little bit, we're going to go through his stats for a second. Then we're going to go deeper into him fully addressing, just to kind of lay it out, because I think last video I just kind of talked about, he was he gave value to him, whatever. The more research I do, is like, oh no, this is a guy who not only came in on Wisconsin, but and has good value, but the teammates love him. Obviously, I'm not a Penn State guy. I just know that, he was a dude that helped out with Wisconsin. I've seen him wiggle a little bit. Sorry, when I say wiggle, I'm saying running with the football, making people miss. I apologize. Back to this. But going deeper into this, I just see positives upon positives upon positives. And I do want to say across college football, I feel like there's been a lot more positives, not interference, but reaction to the way that people kind of enter the transfer portal, because I think there's an understanding at this point. But just taking a peek at it, I mean, obviously the amount of teammates that have been coming out and showed support for Bo Perbula entering the transfer portal shows what kind of a leader he was and what he meant to this team. There he is ripping the ball a little bit. We're going to get into that, James Franklin. I was trying to see, then we're just going to hop into anyone mad at Bo Perbula for leaving Penn State before CFP is being unfair to him, full stop. This is a fully don't hate the player, hate the game. If you're not aware, transfer portal closes December 28th. So, I mean, they're going to be in the heat of it. He's got to get out there. He's got to put his name out there in the portal. Let's see how Drew Aller, future NFL quarterback, predicted feels about his backup quarterback.
Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different since we came in together. We've been here for 3 years together, and I wish Bo nothing but the best. He's been a great teammate to not only me, but the entire team as well. One of the hardest workers on our team. And he's going to do really well wherever he lands up, and I'm hoping for the best for him because he deserves it. Extremely hard worker, extremely humble about himself and his process, so he's going to do really well no matter where he lands. And in terms of preparing, I think it's similar to what we preach as a quarterback, no matter what, preparing as a starter. And I don't know how much that really changes for all of us just because we've been preparing that way for 14 weeks now. So I think we're going to keep that same mindset about ourselves in terms of.
Awesome. Good quarterback answer too. Hey, we about this, son. Next man up. But yeah, this is super fire, and it's really good to see that there's a lot more positives when we go to take a peek at it, right? He's going to be an elite guy, but sitting behind Drew Aller for another year. Again, he came out in the 2022 class. As we can see, three-star rank at a high school. So he's been chilling. He's been waiting, and I do want to allude to that when he talks about the patience. This is a guy who has given value, right? Obviously number 2 when it comes to passing. Why is Tyler Warren insane? That dude's kind of crazy. Bo Perbula, obviously number 2, 275, 7.9 average, 5 tutters on the season, 1 interception, and he's only taking 1 sack. Not too bad. And of course, the big game was that Wisconsin game where he came in and handled business, kept them boys at bay, got a tutter, got in the end zone, make magic happen. 11 for 13, 98 yards. So this is a gentleman who gets the ball done, can play some foosball and get that done. So let's see how the head coach feels, because I think this is one of obviously the biggest indication of it. And James Franklin's going to sing a lot of the praises of this young man.
Let me first talk about Bo. Bo Perbula has been a phenomenal teammate. Has been a big reason why we are where we are right now. Parents, awesome. High school coach, awesome. Being a backup quarterback's not an easy thing to do and he never approached it that way. Had so much confidence on our team based on how he went about his business and prepared like a starter again, which is something we talk about all the time, but it's easier said than done. He also, in my opinion, he's a man's man. Like, came into my office, had multiple conversations with me about this process. We talked last week, had no intentions of leaving, but we got problems in college football. And I can give you my word, Bo Perbula did not want to leave our program, and he did not want to leave our program until the end of the season. But the way the portal is and the timing of it and the way our team is playing, and when you play the position of quarterback and there's only one spot and those spots are filling up, he felt like he was put in a no-win situation, and I agree with him. And number one, I hate for it. Number one, most importantly, for Bo Perbula. I don't think it's in the best interest of the student athlete. I don't think it's in the best interest of college football. But I think that's our challenge right now, right? Who is really running college football and making the best decisions for the student athletes and for our sport as a whole? Bo should not be put in this position. Whether we don't play as many games during the season, whether we don't play conference championship games, which could actually equal things out to some of the teams that aren't playing them anyway. Finish the season so it aligns more with the academic calendar for most institutions, because that's part of this pressure as well. To have a transfer portal / free agency going on right in the middle of the playoffs. There's just a lot of things that don't really make sense. And I know there's been a lot of discussions about, maybe a commissioner of college football, but I think it's pretty obvious we need that. We need somebody running college football. We need somebody that is not biased based on a conference, and that is out of the financial impacts of it as well. Because if you're just making the decisions which are in the best interest of the student athletes in college football, then I think you can do it. But if you're biased by a specific conference, or if you're impact.
Okay, I get. We catch your drift, Mr. Key and Peele. Or is that Key? That's Peel, right? Anyway, good job, James Franklin. I appreciate it. But for real, I really like James Franklin. A lot of people call him a fraud, XYZ, LMNOP, but he's one of those players, coaches type guys, one of those personality guys that I think a lot of people enjoy kind of working under, and people have a lot of positive things to say after they've been under. Let me yap for a second. Just on the few things that he said, it was interesting that he kind of keeps alluding to that whole there's only one position. I mean, it's obvious there that's just something that you're going to have to deal with. But I think a bigger thing that he keeps talking about and keeps saying, and a lot of people keep quoting on, is that, hey, this kid did not want to leave, right? And that's where we got to get to the inherent problem of the college football. And it's crazy. My favorite thing is that these coaches are just calling it free agency now, right? It's free agency. It's not what's it called, the transfer portal. It's no longer what it used to be. It used to be a transfer portal. If y'all aren't aware, and I know some my guys are gonna correct me in the comments, transfer portal back in the day before they did that rule, I forgot what year it was. I think it was like 2018 or something around there. You could like transfer. I don't think you had a limit on transfers, but you could transfer, and there was only one transfer window, end of the season. I'm not sure what the dates were exactly, because again, that was when I was like in middle school, high school, or whatever. What's it called? Yeah, so you can transfer one time, and then the big rule that really changed it was the whole freshman eligibility. If you guys don't remember, if you transfer to a school, you had to wait a year to then become eligible, except for like special exempt cases, yada, 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 but NCAA be stingy about them. So that transition of people being able to just instantly play is, I think, great for the time of that athlete, right? But at the same time, it kind of, like, what are we teaching them? And I hate to agree with Coach Jason Brown of all people, but yeah, I think it's you're not pushing these 18 to 20-something-year-olds in the right spot. And then he goes back to the whole commissioner thing, and I just think that, like I've said in multiple of these videos, the NCAA wants this to fail. That I think they've set this up knowingly to fail. NIL, just let it, whatever. We're not gonna put any profit sharing. Yeah, we're just gonna start implementing that. Boom, we got that. We're gonna let the transfer portal be completely wide open. How are those two things gonna work? I don't know. How is profit sharing in someone who's bouncing around in the middle of a playoff game? I don't know. Again, if there were contracts, it would make a lot more sense. But I think, again, the core of the matter when we talk about free agency, he talks about commissioner, the kid, Bo Perbula, a guy who it seems like everyone on that team, all the coaches have raving things to say. I think he's going to land in a great spot and do amazing things. But I hate that at this point, there are still, even with the new open rules of it, there's still people who are suffering from that, right? Now, he's suffering from success. Let's be honest with you. He's trying to get up out of there and go to another place, but making him like this villain when really he only got like a week. He got 10 days. He has 10 days and he's a backup quarterback. Not a lot of film. He got to keep rewinding that Wisconsin. And hey, good play. We're gonna watch this in slow-mo because I want to this touchdown from Wisconsin, and we're gonna wrap it up. Because you know how they be with the copyrights. But yeah, in conclusion, man. Oh, easy now. And it helps that it's a potato too. So, you know what I'm saying? We can play it at slow speed here. In conclusion, man, shout out to Bo Perbula. I hope he lands in a good spot. A lot of people are predicting Iowa and things of that nature. Maybe a little bit of Missouri too. Pump fake. Oh, wait, he throws the ball. Wait a minute. Throws the ball. BT. What a beat, huh? What a beat. What a beaut. Fourth down. I mean, that's the fourth quarter out there, son. I like that. That's like step up. Anyway, but yeah, man, I hate to see it happen. Comment down below. We've talked about how fixing it. I think the NCAA just needs to put their big boy britches on and actually make something that is both good for schools, the players, and everybody else intertwined. But I don't think that's how it's going to work out. Other than that, man, y'all be great. Y'all be beautiful. Leave a like if you like it. Just like if you don't like it. Comment down below how you feel about this whole situation. We'll see you next time.